Hello, this is Maniac Tim with Maniac Sports. How is everybody today? Uh, well, shoot, um, I'm going to be going to PAX East, uh, which is known as a gaming deal for for Twitch streamers and stuff like that. So hopefully, I'll meet some people there, grow my channel there. I need to be on here a heck of a lot more than I am. Uh, but this is what I'm looking at. I'll be going to PAX East. Uh, well, it'll be my first streaming concept or conference that I've been to, so it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll be going with a friend of mine, Pup Dexter. Uh, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Uh, of course, by then we will be um, know who the Lions got for the draft and everybody in the NFL draft. Um, so as we look at this year, shoot, it's some of the players the Lions have signed that have made it has not their rookie deals are up. There's still some needs in areas, and we all know that we need that to strengthen our pass rush more. We also, I think our secondary is looking pretty good. Yeah, I think we got, as long as we can keep people healthy, I think our secondary is looking pretty good. But we always got to be looking to keep um, replacing players when they lose either to through free agency, and at the same time, you know, staying under the cap, being competitive, but also finally getting to the point where you're not only competitive, but you get the job done. And that's where I think we're at right now. You know, I you know, I I think the Lions have gotten to a point in their roster where with a few more players they could have that Super Bowl, that coveted Super Bowl that we want. It's not going to be easy. We all know that. We all know that NFL is, you know, can be a hell of a, to win that ultimate championship has eluded the line for so many years. They never been to the Super Bowl in the era of the Super Bowl. Even though the first two Super Bowls that Green Bay won wasn't even called a Super Bowl. The first, uh, they were kind of backdated and gave them those two Super Bowl champions. You know, um, but hey, I think they're close. You know, and they got players that want to come there now. They got that team. Uh, hey, and the best thing that Lions can do, and to really see if Brad Holmes built the type of team that the Lions, quality that they have, if he really built quality like we think he did, all right, it's going to be a test this year. Because, yeah, how good of a coach is really Dan Campbell? Is he that coach that built that team? And that with our new assistants, our new offense coordinator, our new defensive coordinator, are the Lions going to be able to keep that level? And this is how we're going to be able to tell how good of a team builder Brad Holmes is, how good of a coach um, how good of a coach Dan Campbell is. Because when you lose, I mean, Patriots didn't fall apart when they lost um, their coordinators. They didn't fall apart until they lost their their basically their quarterback. You know, uh, and I'll tell you what, in my mind, I mean, Goff has won the job. He's been the best thing for the Lions as far as quarterback goes. Uh, he may not have been as skill set as what Matthew Stafford is, but in his prime. But I think Goff has shown and has proven that he can do the job. Uh, but is he the one to take the Lions to the next level? Am I saying we should draft quarterback and get rid of him right now? Hell no. You know. But I'll tell you what, I want somebody in there that can win. You know. Um, I want somebody in there that's going and hey, I want to see what Hendon Hooker can do. I want to see if he's going to be that mobile quarterback that we expect him to be. I'm not saying he should be the starting quarterback by no means, but you know what I mean. It did scare me as far as when they brought Teddy Bridgewater back, and when you have Hendon Hooker, which basically was a second year with the Lions, and you bring you was expecting Hendon Hooker to be able to be that backup for Goff. Uh, so if you kind of just look at it, just look and see what's going on. Uh, by the way, everybody, welcome. This is Maniac Tim with Maniac Sports. I'm also wearing my Michigan Panther jersey. They are 3-1 right now. 3 wins, 1 loss. The UFL, which I think is a stupid ass name. I think they could have came up with a much better name than that. They would have been better off keeping the USFL and just. I know, I I don't like the way they made the merger. I mean I've been vocal on that. I don't like that they're just trying to be um, a second tier football league. You know, I I don't know. I think the USFL when the XFL merged, I really think that they should have actually kept all the teams that were in there. You know, instead of you know instead of really just cut them down to 8 teams or whatever the hell it is. Um, I know they're going to span. Do you span two cities? And when you span, if you take in two teams, do you take in? Well, I guess in order to get your divisions um, right, uh, you got to take in one from the XFL division and one from the USFL division. But having spring football, especially when it's a minor league, a second tier um, deal going when you got Major League Baseball, which is going right now. You got the NBA playoffs that are going right now. It is a hard sell. You know, it is a hard sell to get these fans in there. Although numbers are increasing. Um, right now, the league, the well, it's only the second year of this new league. What is it? Fourth year of the um, XFL, of the USFL uh, playing. But we just also gotta just take a look at things and see what's going on. Just keep going, keep plugging away. Try to make your product better. Get your product out there. Get the word out there. Hey, Michigan is a great state for football. It is a great state for sports. Now you're starting to have, with the Lions doing good, and you have the Pistons, which right now they're in the playoffs. They went from not making the playoffs to 4 years, and actually being relevant in the NBA. 4 years to actually now being relevant now. I know nobody thinks they're going to win the NBA championship this year. And I, I agree. That's not going. Hey, Detroit fan man, how's it going? How's it going, man? Thank you. Yep. This is the Michigan Panthers, man. And this is when they came back in the USFL. But yeah, how you been? Are you ready for the NFL draft? I cannot believe it is coming up this Thursday. OMG, this Thursday we'll get to see. Yeah, and I mean we still, we're getting to where we need we have lost a couple on the offensive line too. So you look at we still need edge rushers. You know, we need to keep the offensive line intact. And I'm more worried about the players than I am losing. I'm more worried about losing the players than I am worried about losing the coaches. You know, to me, you know, I just want to go in there and knock Chicago teams on their ass. Go ahead and show Ben Johnson, listen, you go ahead, you go to a rival to, one of our main rivals. I mean, definitely our main rival is the the Pack Squirts, Packers. Uh, but of course, us being the Lions being original team and the Packers or the Bears being an original team in the NFL. You know, Packers and Lions or Packers Lions. Bears were all big rivals and number one rivals, and hey, you know, in a way, you can't blame him. You can't blame Ben Johnson for going ahead and taking the job with a quarterback that he thinks is going to be able to get the job done with a general manager which has been trying to. This is all right. You know what? I should put this up on top. Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. Our main rivals is the refs in our division. Although if you listen to a lot of the stuff they're talking that uh, the refs are on our side now. Well, even if we got a few calls from the refs this year, it's about time we were due. We were due, Peter. did I did I ever tell you that joke that I made up? I made up a joke a long time ago. And this was when the lines were bad. Uh, that PETA was actually One. Okay. Okay. So I made up that the Detroit Lions were being sued. Okay, and this was a joke that they were being sued for, and this was when they had gotten real bad. Okay, by PETA and the Word Life uh, Fund. Um, that they were being sued. uh, Somebody was representing the hot take draft prediction. Number 28, Hank Fraley's son. Wow. Canton Center at Tennessee is best friend. Oh, wow. Hey, good, good. Definitely. But what I was saying that the Lions were being sued um, by PETA for defamation of character, irrefutable damage to the name of the uh, when the Lions were really bad to the defamation character because the Lions are supposed to be the king of the jungle, but they just wasn't doing good for so many years that they were being sued by PETA for actually making the lions look bad, the actual animal line. But nah, right now the way I say it sounds dumb. But man, I want to see the lions. Next prediction: defensive end, 60 Michigan boy, Josh Stewart, Brad, and staff stopped talking and meeting with the kid. Yeah, yeah, and shoot, yeah. Let's get the guy in here, But well, and of course you still got your psychic friend. What was that? It was not this year, but the following year or something that your psychic friend said that the Lions were going to win the Super Bowl. I want it to be a year early or a couple of years. I want to win that Super Bowl this year. Damn it, you know. I want him to knock those damn Chicago Bears right on their ass. Knock Ben Johnson right out of right out of his job. You know, otherwise, uh, oh boy, just kind of, you know, just take it. Just go ahead and take them right out. So, oh man. So, have you been following the Michigan Panthers at all? Okay, it actually starts this Thursday, the 24th is when it starts, and it starts at 1. Yeah. Yep. It starts this Thursday, April 24th. I mean, we're already getting ready for next year, man. And you know what? The current king of the NFC North needs to keep being king. I mean, you gotta look at it. For the last few years, the Lions have owned the NFC North interdivisional play too. That's 2 years we won it, but for like the last 3 years, we have basically, with the interdivision, the Lions have basically beat. Last year we beat everybody in the NFC North. Year before we only lost one. Yeah. Shoot. Well, the Packers, Bears fans smell badly. Well, they can stink up the place, and actually yeah, even though the Bears gave us a run for the money on Thanksgiving, you know, uh, they didn't win. They didn't win. I mean, they could have put themselves in a position to tie, if their coach wasn't such a dumbass, you know, but they might not have gotten it. Even if he would have went for the field goals, who knows? Who knows how that would happen? You know, I mean, I remember the freaking yeah, but yeah. Are you a Michigan Panther fan? I know I am. It's just I hate their schedule when they play. Especially this year. Two of the three games have been on Fridays. I work Friday evening. You know, they say historically that Green Bay was named as such because the water smelled bad. I think it's just because the fans are. Uh, shoot, maybe it's a damn good thing I'm not going to the draft live in Green Bay this year. Man, I need to get some. Oh gosh. Oh man, that's yeah. You don't know what they're packing in there. What kind of smells pretty ripe. Hey, a lot of their former victories were a bit smell. I mean, hey, you know, the UFL schedule is very tough to follow. Yeah, I caught the game last night by accident, and second defense play amazing too. Yeah, that's true. I tried watching when I got home. I fell asleep about 10 times. Be, yeah, I got home from work, but it was like now. See, I think when they did that merger with the XFL, you know, see, I was one. I was one of them that wanted, even before they said that they were going to merge. I wanted to see the two-team merge or the two leagues merge. But I think the way they merged was stupid. They went ahead and they canceled out franchises. They should they should have you know kept uh, had more kept each franchise instead of just having like four on each. I don't like the name UFL. I think what they should have done we kind of added both names. I mean, I know you got the XFL division and the UFL division, but I think you could have came up with a USXL. I think that would have made a better name. It would have represented the two leagues that merged a lot better than it does right now. They should have, like I said, kept each of the franchises, instead of going ahead and cutting down to what they got now. I heard next year they're looking to finally expanding it. Uh, just a joke at how fat we are, though. Oh man, you're on it today. You are on it today. That's for sure, man. Shoot. But see, I like the original United States Football League. What they brought back, even what they brought back that first, uh, even when the United States Football League formed, it was a mere penance of what it was before. You know, because they were competing, you know, back then. And I'll tell you what, with NFL salaries right now, there's no way any team, any startup could go ahead and compete with the NFL right now. That's no way they're going to take uh be able to take players from the NFL. Unless there has been uh but I mean the first United States Football League 30 some odd years ago, all right, they were taking players from the NFL because they were paying better, you know, and they wanted if they would have kept that league going at the time instead of making a stupid move of trying to go against the head to head against the NFL uh, and move from a spring schedule to a fall schedule, who knows what they could have been now. But no, what they did when they went ahead and they moved that, it caused, when they couldn't get a TV contract, they couldn't do anything, and it caused them to go bankrupt. It destroyed the Michigan Panther team because they wasn't going to go, back then. Now, the one good thing that I do like about the this USFL when it came back, I do like that they did appreciate the Michigan Panthers and at first they tried to keep it where it was um they wanted the franchises, at least the names, to be there. And Michigan was, when they went ahead and like 2 years ago, oh, shoot. Do you blame any individual for the original USFL folding? Was there maybe a single team owner who capitalized on that fortune? What I blame, I mean, actually, I blame the expansion. Okay, I blame the expansion owners. Okay, because I think it was like in the second year or the third year they expanded like by 5 teams or something like that, and then they voted to go to that fall schedule. So there's a vote by so as a hint, he later be I knew you were getting there. I, he was a New Jersey Generals owner, Donald Trump. Um, Now I do think that I'll tell you what. In some ways, you gotta appreciate. Now, I mean, if he was the main one that wanted to go ahead and move to that spring league or to the fall, yeah, I blame. But he was also the one that signed Herschel Walker that first year, which was the Heisman Trophy winner. Because at first, the original USFL was supposed to be, it was pretty planned that was supposed to be a low budget league and all that other stuff. But I think what happened though when what did happen though is when he did that, it made him more competitive. Now, because you were signing. uh, okay. Oh man. But yeah, I Donald Trump was. Oh yeah, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. I think every president from back from after, and maybe even Bush himself, but when they went ahead and they fixed, so-called fixed Social Security. All right, way back when, because Social Security, and we have been paying over the amount for Social Security. And those darn, because the general fund actually owns or owes Social Security part of the money because that extra that was supposed to be set aside was put into the general fund to go ahead and artificially make the deficit look lower. So I think everybody back from Clinton who started that, all the damn presidents should go ahead and freaking get arrested, including our current one, for stealing our damn money. And don't get me mad because I'll tell you, you want to bring out a maniac to me? That damn, I mean, what has happened for the last, I mean, and especially even with golf. Oh God, there's been so much crap that's been going on the last 12 years or whatever. Okay, let's get off politics. let's yeah, let's get off politics. That's one way to bring it because I'll tell you, I put in, and I'll tell you, we all have put in a lot of money, and not that I mean, yes, our parents they deserved to get that Social Security, but so do we because we put that in. And we shouldn't need to work until we're 70 damn years old to go ahead and get it, and then they give us a watered down version. But you know what? In a way, I think that if now I never I'm surprised Donald Trump. Well, I guess they did sue the NFL for antitrust too. So when but yeah, the original, it was just stupid to go ahead and wanna uh go against that. But I'll tell you what, I think the Players Association for the NFL, they owe a lot to actually the original USFL. Maybe not in money, because that was what they used to help get their free agency, because they were able to prove that if they could go ahead and actually go other places, it would cause their value to go up, and it would set bidding wars and all this other stuff. Now, could you ever imagine, and if they ever had a uncapped year in the NFL, an unsalary capped year with free agency? Yeah, I'll tell you that. Yeah. But how many times? I mean, and that just how many times can a crazy guy like uh, Vince McMahon come up with a I mean, his timing for both his times that he brought the XFL was bad as hell. You know, because he when he starts the XFL, uh, the first year, goes ahead and guarantees the stations that they'll get so much percentage, uh, for as far as in revenues are in watching, and ratings. Ratings is a he guaranteed that you'd get so much. Uh, then what happens the following year? NBC, because NBC ended up getting that Thursday night contract, so they didn't want to host, show the XFL after that. So that folded after 1 year, the first year. Then he goes ahead. They had that one football league. They started out the same year as the rebirth of the XFL, and COVID hit. So so once again, the darn the darn XFL folded, and steps in The Rock. The Ranger goes ahead and decides he gets his group together, partial owner and all this other stuff. They come, they lose so much money the first year that they really can't afford it, because so then they decide to go ahead and merge with and actually, if we look at it, it's considered a merger. But is it really? Or is it just that the USFL more or less absorbed the XFL and kind of got their franchise? I, I think with the way it is right now, I think that they would have been better off they would have been better off just staying the USFL instead of merging the two leagues like they did. The only thing is that it is one less league that they gotta compete with because there is a combined, they are a combined league, so that they don't need to, compete with another football league. But still, it's, I don't know. And then you also have the reemergence too of the um, arena football. So, wow, that's something. And next year, the Grand Rapids Rampage is coming back to uh to the arena to the arena. So now I mean, if you see all these signatures on my hat, um that's, the Muskegon actually has a and it's was their 10th year in a row this year, or 10 year, where they have a arena league, a lower one. Um, but the West Michigan Ironman is what they're called. And I'll tell you, I was able to catch a couple of games, a couple of weeks in a row, and that they were nice. It's nice to be able to watch them. Although there wasn't a lot of one thing, there's not a lot of defense, basically. There was not, I mean, it was such a short field, but I mean, it's much fast. It's a lot faster paced game, and I mean, it was. But I don't know. There's been so many. If you look at it, there's been so many startup leagues. I mean, you had even the NFL had trouble keeping a minor league going. If we remember correctly, because you used to have the World League of American Football that was started by the NFL. All right, so they were started by the NFL, and uh, they the costs, because you had European teams and all that other stuff, and you had some in American teams, and they would need to the cost for transportation was just crazy. So then after a while, they quit all the American teams and changed it to, instead of the World League of American Football, they made it NFL Europe, which I don't know how much longer afterwards that ended up for. Now you got the NFL that's talking about actually expanding and creating a division over in Europe. I I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not for any franchise that are currently in the U.S. moving over to Europe. Um, so I mean, it's just a lot. But I guess in a way, I've been with the whole USFL. It's been it's United States Football League. It's been up. It's been it was great to see that the first ever, and no matter what, I mean, yes, Birmingham Stallions have basically controlled the United Football League as far as in winning, and the USFL in the rebirth, but it did not. You know, they can never take away from the original United States Football League. The original champions was the Michigan Panthers of the United States Football League, the first ever champions. Now, the rebirth, it was the Birmingham Stallions, and back then, every game, every game was played. That their first year, you know, uh, of the rebirth, first year every game was played in the darn Alabama. Now the second year, hey, it went to Detroit. They went to region. And not every team had a home stadium. And I guess that was one thing that was better about the XFL though, is that they did have everyone in the XFL did play at home in their home stadium. But, so yeah, I guess I've been rattling on. Oh man, rattling on about former football leagues and stuff like that. So, so how's everybody doing? And sadly, I do got end up working a little bit later today. I'm going to try to be on a lot more, especially since I'll be going to PAX East. Um, which is a Twitch streaming. Now, no, I'm not going to be an official guest there or anything, but uh, just going there to enjoy the conference. Okay, I will. Hopefully, I shouldn't have to work next week. But draft. Uh, Probably I'll go live once I get out of work on Thursday. Kind of do like a recap. Next week I'll probably be on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I mean it, and it will be after I get out of work those days, unless there's some ways I can get it off on vacation. Who knows? I might try to get I got a lot of vacation. If they approve, I might try to get vacation days for those days. And if my boss gives me Thursday off for a vacation day, I just might go ahead and do that. But it can be hard to get vacation sometimes. Uh, I should have put in for it a long time ago. That's what I should have did. So, um, but yeah, you guys are watching Maniac Sports, the Maniac One show, Maniac 2 meter. And so, of course, the draft order we have Tennessee Titans are got the number one pick this year, and then you got the Browns. How many? How many times has the Browns over the years had the number one pick? Quite a bit. But I mean, that's the number two. They got the number two pick this year. Then, of course, the Giants, uh, Patriots, Jags. I mean, remember, the Jags had the number one pick like 2 years in a row. Of course, last year, the Bears had the number one pick. Okay, sixth pick is, of course, the Vegas Raiders. Wow, how they know how to build a team, right? Yeah, right. Uh, and the Giants are got the number one seventh pick. Carolina eighth pick. Panthers. The Aints or the Saints. Excuse me, slip a tongue. No. Saints have the ninth pick. The Bears, number 10 pick. Good old Ben Johnson. So, and this is definitely a rebuilding year for the 49ers. I mean, they let go of everybody. You know, all their stars, but they were aging stars too. But they got the 11th overall pick. Dallas. I mean, it's kind of funny. You know, Dallas and the 49ers, they were expected to go far last year. Both of those didn't even make the playoffs. Dolphins, 13th pick. Colts, Indianapolis Colts, former Baltimore coach. Colts. They got 14th overall pick. Atlanta Falcons got your 15th overall pick. And Arizona got your 16th. Wow. The Bengals, who was another team that was supposed to make the playoffs this year, but just didn't do it. So they're the number 17 pick. Seahawks have the 18th pick. All right. Always wanted to, always wanted to the Lions to be in a position to afford a draft depth in the first. We're here now. It's kind of uneventful. This draft will be long and slow. Be careful what you wish for, I guess. True. Well, you know, that's just, it's, but the Lions have became a freaking contender, you know, like crazy. So, Tampa Bay, 19th pick. Denver Broncos, 20th pick. Wow. Steelers at 21st pick. And of course, Chargers, 22nd. Green Bay is your 23rd. Good old Packers. Then you got the Vikings are at your 25th pick. Texan or Vikings are your 24th pick. Excuse me. I guess I can't count either. Houston will be your 25th pick, and your 26th pick is of course Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Baltimore Ravens 27th overall pick. And of course, the Lions are at your 28th overall pick. Of course, all these can be affected by trades and stuff too. Commanders will be your 29th pick. Bills are your 30th pick. With Kansas City being your 31st pick. And of course, the Eagles are going to be your 32nd pick. But we all know that order might change depending on if you go up, go down, whatever. Of course, since the Lions are strong now, the draft is less impactful. It's just wild to finally be on the other side of the fence. True. But one of the things that Jim used to say is that that you have to get real bad in order to get real good. You know, because the Lions for so many years were picking, like in the middle, and then a lot of the picks, it was like a lot of the picks you're like, why? You scratch your head like, why? Why did they pick up this? Why did they pick up this guy? Now back, and of course, some of the things too happen timing issues. Shortly after they picked Matt Stafford, like a year or two afterwards, that was when the rookie salary deal came. So of course, we didn't, Matthew Stafford had that high rookie contract. Sue had the high rookie contract because it wasn't, you didn't have a rookie salary cap back then. You know, uh, so some of their timing was bad luck. If you take a look at that too, but it's great for the Lions to be contenders. But we're at the point, and I think I think all your line, I mean, we're at the point right now where you need to get the players that's going to get you over the hump. That player, and I guess that's why, you know, but then you got to balance on what you're going to give up to give up that player. Now, I'm one, okay, and this isn't news to a lot of people. You know, I'm one that would trade that player and mortgage our future for a while to go ahead and get that Super Bowl win. I'm not going to be afraid. Now, see, it doesn't always work out. But if you look at uh, the almost wins, the almost got it done from the ones that have gotten it done. Um, yeah, sure, they built in the draft and then through free agency and stuff like that, they got that final pickup of that would put them over to succeed. Okay, when the Rams traded for Matthew Stafford, all right, they, everybody thought that um, thought that the Rams were mortgaging their future because they were getting rid of a lot of guys or a lot of draft picks in order to secure that win. But what did it do? It gave them another Super Bowl win. Okay, I mean, yes, I know the they traded other than Matthew Stafford, they brought in other people and stuff like that. But they went for that the home run hit, and it worked for them. It did. It worked for them because the Lions, or not the Lions, but the Rams got that goal. They got to no. So they were able to make you know get that Super Bowl win, and yeah, I mean, sure, maybe some people say that them winning was luck that the guy dropped the pass and stuff, but still they accomplished their goal by trying. You can't always play it safe, is what I'm trying. Is a point that I'm trying to get. Now you could end up doing something at the other end of the spectrum too, where you look at what happened with Cleveland and Deshaun Watson. Okay, but like that's just a totally different story. I mean, Deshaun Watson, he was out of football for a year, because he didn't want to play, you know, for the team that had the rights to him. Uh, he ended up also you know, serving a suspension and stuff like that. Where it was, like half he was gone for half the first year of his contract and stuff like that. But one of the things that Cleveland did is, they they swang for the fence by bringing him in, tried for that home run hitter, but ended up falling flat on their face. Where the Rams kind of did the same thing, but they Matthew Stafford's numbers were current. If you also look at what Tampa Bay did too, I mean, yeah, it wasn't really a trade or anything, but Tampa Bay, when Brady became available, I mean, sure they didn't need to because Brady was a free agent. All right, so they were able to get that Super Bowl win. You know, and then you got teams like Dallas, which build, but hasn't. I mean, they were looked at being that contenders, going and winning that Super Bowl. That's what they were looking at doing. And they won a playoff game in quite a while. But yeah, they do have a few Super Bowls under their belt. 5, 6, something like that. I think it's 5 or is it 6? But yeah, so if you take, I'm at the point, hey, and I'll tell you, there's been people at work, and a lot of your Lion fans are wondering why Brad Holmes didn't go ahead and bring in go ahead and bring in another pass rusher last year. But of course, we don't know how the defense is going to be when half of your defense was out due to injuries last year during the playoff times. You know, but I tell you what, you know um, you gotta live and die by that offensive line, by your defensive line. You gotta live and die by that. But man, I really want. I mean, it's if there's one knock I have on golf is he's not very mobile. And right now, this league has become a very mobile presence. A mobile quarterback, or there's a mobile quarterbacks really end up, you know, making the difference. And I think also having a high explosive, offense too. Now, one of the talks they have talked about, or one of the deals they have talked about, was putting Jameson Williams on or on the after after this year, because of course they got his fifth option that they, but after this year, you know, Jameson Williams is a free agent unless they sign him. But he's going, he'll be off that rookie deal, so it's going to cost more money. But that's where you got to look at. That's his production over the last few years warrant the amount of, are you getting your money's worth? You know, basically. I mean, you go ahead and you buy, because, okay, you go ahead and you buy a steak dinner, all right? You know, let's say you buy a porterhouse, all right, and you buy that steak dinner. That's the best steak you can have, all right? Uh, Nice, juicy, and all this other stuff. Real, really, you know, uh, satisfy the appetite. Nice, tender, good cut of meat. But the problem is, all right, you can only eat the size of a regular T-bone, but you got this porterhouse, you know, and you paid that extra money, but you're going to be satisfied after, you know, you get too full to eat it. And hey, I'll tell you what, that porterhouse may be nice the first time, but it may not be as juicy the second time. If you Even if you take it home and warm it up or whatever, take that. So is it a waste of money? And also going down for that draft pick. And that's giving up, moving down for him, so that you paid more for him. Now, not only the value of moving down a few picks, but you also lost a draft pick too, because you traded to move down with Minnesota so you could pick up Jameson Williams. But now that bill's going to come due, and let's say I still got my gas bill to pay, but I only got $100. Yes, yeah. Right now in Michigan, it's going to be a lot more than $100 in the winter. Uh, but I only got so much money I can put at that resources. So is it? I think if he can get out his own way as far as in what he says and the different things that he did on field, if he can, I think he can be that great receiver. You know, you just got to get Goff and him time together. You know, and he needs to have more. He needs to get to the point where he's more consistent too. I mean, here we see the one big splash play, you know, or a couple of those good plays, in a season or in a game, But we want to see him have Justin Jefferson's numbers all the time, and that's what you want to see. You want to see somebody with his skill set that will work as hard in the production side of things as St. Brown works, you know, and everybody, you know, er, my friend Brian at work, he said, when you looked at when Jameson Williams was playing, was picked by Lions, you looked at his face and it's like, wow, who just picked me? The Lions. But if you remember too, our favorite receiver on that team right now, St. Brown, he didn't want to be a Lions. He was praying. He said, anybody but the Lions, basically. And he was public about that. So this ain't making up no things. It's not making up no stories. But the work ethic of St. Brown, all right, once he helped create the line, and let's just face it, his play has helped create the Lions to be what they are now, what they are today. So, but are there any more questions? I do want to thank Detroit Fan Man for coming in, for words of wisdom, and for helping to make it fun. Yeah, thanks Honor St. Brown. Now we need to. I'll tell you what. You get that 1-2-10. If that timing can get connected with Goff and Jameson Williams, and then you still got Jamar Gibbs. I mean, we still got and you still got a tough rank offensive line. I mean, we still got some explosion. Do I want to see Jameson? I want to get that porterhouse production out of Jameson. I mean, we already get that out of St. Brown. Okay, we already get that out of St. Brown. But I want to see that type of production, that type of dedication from Williams. From Williams that we're getting from St. Brown. And of course, Gibbs speaks for himself. I mean, if you can get the offensive machine working like it was at the start of the year and keep it going all the time, and then go ahead and get it, I mean, yeah, sure, there's no Aaron Glenn is gone. All right. Ben Johnson is gone. But our core of our team is still there. All right. And you go ahead and you get that production. And who knows? I want our coordinators this year to be as good or better than the ones that we have lost. I want our coordinators to be to be so good, all right, by using the talent that Brad Holmes has set up, all right, using that talent. And I just want to deliver slobber knockers to other teams' defensive. And I want to deliver slobber knockers to other teams' offense. I want the Lions to be that damn good and just go ahead and annihilate any team that comes across, whether it be the Green Bay Packers, whether it be the Washington Redskins, whether it be the Kansas City Chiefs, whether it be the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get it done. We have gotten close. 2 years ago, we were 4 points away from going to the Super Bowl because we lost by like 3 points. Last year, we got the first round bye, the best regular season in the NFC. Now, damn it, it is time to get that damn Super Bowl. Get to that Super Bowl line, get it done. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, my neighbor just called and asked, "Is everything all right?" I guess my speakers were too loud, and the Maniac was getting too loud. But no worries, everything's perfect. Oh shoot! Oh, it's draft season. It's draft time. All right. The Michigan Panthers are looking good. The Detroit Lions are going into the draft. The Detroit Lions won the NFC North, won the NFC last year. It is time. It is time to knock some teams on their ass. It is time to not only be the NFC North champions, but to own the NFC North. As well as the NFC. We're going to be playing the Eagles this year. You know, and it's time to go in there and freaking show the Eagles. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Bitch slap the Eagles. Clip their wings. I mean, yes, the Eagles have the flight. All right. The power of flight. All right. Philadelphia, yes. But the Lions are the king of the jungle. The Lions have the teeth that will rip you apart. And you know what? Yes, the Eagles have the tush push. But it's time to push those damn Eagles right on their ass. Put them on the back to the Pistons before we leave. The Pistons have been great when they had nicknamed Bad Boys. Yes, that's true. And then the Goblin, and then going to work, Caleb and company need a nickname to help their playoff run. Any ideas? Just don't. Okay. Wow. And this is for the Pistons. Wow. Uh, okay. Clobbering time? Oh, wow. Motorcade is running favorite, but I think that lacks high performance. Okay. Golly. Man, it's hard to get motorcade. Motorcade. How about running at its peak? That's but I'll tell you, next playoffs. Sheila Ford, this message is for you. This message is for Ron Wood. Uh, let's see, retired. Uh, Brad Holmes. Don't be giving your coordinators permission to visit until after to visit other teams until after the Super Bowl. Don't be doing that because I'll tell you what, it could have been that they got sidetracked, but maybe too many words. I would look, but yeah, it could look good. I kind of like Bring It On. Wow, that is a lot of work. Yeah. Hey, They could always do like in The Shining. We're back. Okay, you have Pistons. All right, we're back. I kind of like that. Yeah, Bad Boy 2 could work, definitely. That could work. I like that one. Oh, oh cute. Man. But yeah, I do need to be getting ready for work. But I plan on being on a lot this week. Uh, once again, I hope. Yeah, I know I said that last time. You know what? Your time's up. I like that. Your time's up. If they look at you like, what? Fine now. Your time's up, man. Uh, yeah. Of course, you could have them holding the NBA trophy. All right. Mine. Picture. Mine. Oh, gosh. You would need to bring that up, won't you? Oh yeah, uh, that's true. Oh boy, uh, wow. Oh man. But anything can be. Yeah, good. Oh, that's yeah. It definitely could. Oh, that's you. Oh man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This. Oh man. Now, okay. Why is it that the refs just seem to hate anything that has to do with Detroit, though? I mean, we look at all these. It seems like in air, I mean, because that's Detroit versus everybody. Uh, I and it's crazy. But you got to be one of the things. Yeah, I mean, yes, it would be tough to walk out that if, but see, you can't be thinking like because see that what you're also doing, and yes, I mean, I agree with you too. But if you when you're causing doubt too, the doubt that you know, I mean, just go with your time's up. Don't then what you do? Okay, you just have a shirt under it. Okay, all right, just shut up. Take it out. If somehow the piston goes, you just take the shirt off, carry that on in your hand. Just shut up. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. Oh boy. Yeah. It's a lifelong rivalry. Detroit versus the refs. Detroit versus everyone. Yeah. Where did it originate? Some say the refs just always hated us. Other legends or other legends say we stole some refs many years ago. We will never know. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a tootsie roll? One, two, three. Then you bite it off. Now, see, that would be one for the lions. Are you ready for the bite? But yeah, I mean, it's here. You got one of the baddest asses towns in in the world. Okay, Detroit, one of the roughest towns. All right, but yet it's not been respected. And I'll tell you what, you gotta kind of wonder if when the NFL and the AFL merged, okay, if they deliberately tried to make the AFL look better, you know, by this. And you could, I mean, and you could do that with a, you know what? You think your butt is big? Look at mine. I mean, we all know Dan, Dan Holmes. Dan Campbell likes to bite off kneecaps. You know, kneecaps ain't the only thing we bite. Okay, I better stop because that could get pretty weird. You know what would? I mean, you know what would be neat though. Okay, to have a T-shirt with the lions biting. You have Jordan Love here, kind of like running, and you have the lion just kind of chomping right at his ass. Chomp. You think your bite is big? Try mine. God. Oh God. Oh gosh. How about it's a wrap? I mean, you win. It's all wrapped up. It's a wrap. I kind of also want to make a T-shirt. Celebrate growth quotes. QBs with small hands. Oh, oh gosh. Oh man. Oh jeez. I gotta have you design a T-shirt for me to knock them on your ass. Because that's what we want the Lions to do. Is just knock everybody on their asses, especially Caleb Williams. Knock him on your ass. Knock Jordan Love on your ass. You know. See, okay, time's up. It's a wrap. Once the Pistons win, okay, time's up. It's a wrap. The House of Pain. Okay. I do like that. Biting. Okay, okay, okay. All right. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Actually, I remember that verse from a long time ago. That is a good verse in the Bible. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Uh, how about the big guns? Uh, uh, but seriously, I do need to. Uh, oh wow, yeah, I do need to start. I do need to go because I do need to get ready for work. Uh, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Definitely. Thank you, Detroit. And go Pistons. Go Pistons. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's freaking get it done. Get it done. Man. Uh, Now, Green Bay's slogan, you know what Green Bay's slogan should be the always cheat. 'Cause that's what they do. They always cheat. But yeah, thank you guys. It's been fun. This is Maniac Tim with Maniac Sports. I'm gonna try to be on at least sometime tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe even later on tonight. I do gotta get ready for work. Go Lions. Go Pistons. Go Michigan Panthers. Go Detroit Red Wings. Uh, yep. Yep. See ya later. And let's get it done. All right.